What is up, everyone? This is Justice, and today we are going to look at a bunch of different hiding spots on Sword Fights in the Heights 4. I'm going to cover, of course, the modern Sword Fights and the Nostalgia Zone version. These hiding spots are very important to know so you can safely go AFK when streaking, or just so you can have fun with friends, maybe play a minigame, see how long you can last. It's important to know good hiding spots because people can and they will push you off the edge of the safe room. In fact, this happened to me the very first time I went AFK while recording the clips for this video. It happens to me so often that I wanted to find a bunch of hiding spots on both the modern Sword Fights and Nostalgia Zone. Spoiler alert, I discovered an AFK technique on Nostalgia Zone that will change the game for streakers. There are big differences in hiding spots between the two versions of Sword Fights in the Heights. The biggest difference is the Ghostwalker level 9. For those of you guys that don't know, the Ghostwalker has 9 levels. Every time you kill someone with it, it goes up 1 level, increasing your damage and the transparency of your avatar. Once you hit level 9, not only do you have the strongest sword in the game, but you also become completely invisible. On the modern Sword Fights, the Ghostwalker level 9 makes you 100% invisible, including your sword and your hat. This has only been the case since the 2020 update. For 12 years before that, your sword and your hat did not go invisible. On Nostalgia Zone, this is not the case, as your sword and hat are not invisible because it's an emulation of 2008. Of course, you can just press the equal sign to drop your hat, but your sword is still there and your face. Another difference is the Illumina's Illumination passive, which makes invisible players sparkle, revealing their location. This is only on the modern Sword Fights in the Heights 4, however, and it is not on Nostalgia Zone. There are also a bunch of spots on the modern Sword Fights in the Heights 4 that are not on Nostalgia Zone. And there are spots on Nostalgia Zone that you can't hide in on the modern Sword Fights. Alright, we're going to look at hiding spots on the modern Sword Fights in the Heights first, and then we're going to look at the Nostalgia Zone ones. Let's dive in. So, of course, we've got to start off with the most classic, The Cake is a Lie. It's an old school Sword Fights in the Heights secret / meme, and it's also a great place to hide. Of course, use your Ghostwalker level 9. Probably the most well-known hiding spot is the John Loved of Muses card room. This is a good spot because not a lot of people even go in here. On a daily basis, maybe at most 10 people get the John Loved of Muses badge. So 10 people a day split across all servers is not that many people that come into this room. It's just a great spot to go to hide, guys, with level 9. Another great spot is the grave site that is new to this game as of 2020. So you go up the Windforce mountain, you can fly over there with dual Illumina, that's the easiest way. And when you drop onto the little platform, there's a grave site you can hide behind, there's a Roblox sky crying that you can hide behind. It's a cool place. Of course though, it's best to use the Ghostwalker level 9 or use an auto clicker with Shadow Sphere. Another really good spot is the Sword Fights in the Heights 4 sign by the Ghostwalker. No one ever goes onto this thing because it's pointless to go on, and so for that reason it's a great place to hide. Another pretty decent spot is the fire ring right here, this teleporter. You can go on top of it, and it's better on Nostalgia Zone than the modern Sword Fights because on the modern Sword Fights, people will come through that teleporter very often. Occasionally, one will have an Illumina, and it's very easy to spot someone up here if you're flying by with an Illumina, so unfortunately that makes it a little less viable on the modern version. So this is by far the best hiding spot. You basically nudge yourself into the middle of the truss right here. Either one of the corners will do. You start climbing the trusses, and when you get to the top, you lodge yourself in by pulling out a tool. It'd be best if it was Ghostwalker, but any tool works, and yeah, no one can push you out. It's a great spot. After the 2020 update, I noticed something over here. Shedletsky added a new secret. If you guys go over by Ice Dagger and you jump off the edge, you will land on a ledge where Builderman is just chilling like a villain. So these next couple hiding spots are not really that good because Illumina illuminates invisible players, but you've got the Disappearing Plates room, and you've got the walkways in between Ghostwalker, and they're kind of okay. The next spot is this little ledge right here on the Windforce Tower, and also on top of the Windforce Tower, but as you can see in this clip, it's not really that great. This last spot I'm going to show for the modern sword fights is not really that great, but for the modern sword fights, it might be better than nothing. I don't really see why anyone would come up here with an Illumina, but at the same time, they're flying around in the air. It's probably just best to go hide in one of the better places. So it is very important for me to note on the modern sword fights, there is a unfortunate glitch that causes your character to become completely visible even with level 9 Ghostwalker. I'm not entirely sure what the glitch is about, but yeah, you want to be careful, needless to say. And also, just a heads up, the Sparkle passive with Illumina will illuminate players up to 30 studs away. So now it's time to get into the Nostalgia Zone hiding spots. I'm going to quickly show you guys the more commonly known ones, and then I'm going to show you a new way to hide on Nostalgia Zone. So, of course, you've got the classic Cake is a Lie spot. You have the Fire Ring teleporter spot. It's even better on this version. Pro tip, turn your character away from the direction the Fire Ring is aiming in, and it will make you almost completely invisible. This is hands down one of my favorite spots because it's in an area a lot of people stay away from because it's kind of dangerous. It's the lava spinners. So you can either stand on the very bottom and have your sword hidden inside the truss, and you just kind of AFK and chill and watch what happens. Whenever the lava spinners regenerate, they don't make you fall or nothing. You stay right there. If you stand on top of just the green part on the top, you do fall down for some reason though. So another spot that is more viable on Nostalgia Zone is the Disappearing Plates room. In fact, this is probably the best place to come to, one of the top 3. It's great. You can go on the ledge right here too to make it even more safe. And then of course you've got your Ghostwalker walkways and this little room down here. It'd be kind of really rare for you to die going AFK over here. You can even go and hide by the Illumina pillars, considering there's no illumination from the Illumina. It's actually a good spot. On top of the Illumina pillars, it's a good spot, but it's not the best because if anyone has shadows turned on, it's pretty easy to see someone's up there. I've killed people up here before. One of my favorite random spots is this little ledge by Firebrand. It's just because no one ever runs over here. Same can be said about the little jump pads over by Firebrand, below the Firebrand walkway over here. So obviously the common theme is on Nostalgia Zone, you can hide really anywhere you want. The Windforce Mountain, it's a good place as well. Those pillars, then you've got the ledge right here. It's a damn good spot on Nostalgia Zone. Another idea for a spot to go AFK is over by the stairs by Starkheart. No one really runs down here, so it's a good place to go AFK. You could also go AFK in random places around the mountain or on top of the mountain as well. Of course, you could lodge yourself inside of the trusses on this version, but from my experience, you get flung out by the physics pretty often. So I don't really like taking that gamble, especially when there's so many other great hiding spots. As I was recording the clips for Nostalgia Zone, I was trying to get onto the other side of the ledge right here in the Disappearing Plates room, and I jumped up onto what seemed like an invisible block right here. I was amazed, 1. 2, very excited because this is an OP spot to go AFK at, and I decided to go look around the rest of the room. My thought process was, if this wall is able to be climbed, then others should be able to as well. I didn't exactly know what was going on, but I figured it's probably having to do with like the fact that some parts of this map are tilted a little bit, just a tiny bit. And if you build on Roblox, you'll know that if you tilt a block just a tiny bit, you can stand on it or climb it. It actually wasn't the fact that it was tilted. Either way, I found some more spots all around the room. Things finally clicked for me when I accidentally found this other hiding spot right above the safe room. As you can see, I always land on what seems to be the top of a block, even though I shouldn't be able to. And I'm pretty sure this has to do with the fact that Nostalgia Zone has emulated bevels. So I started looking around the map to find other hiding spots, and the thing I found out is you have to be like facing the wall perfectly parallel to be able to do this. You can't be, as you can see right here, you can't be like opposite of it. So you always want to be facing the wall exactly parallel to your body. There are so many great spots, guys. This completely blows the door open on Nostalgia Zone when going AFK. It's really hard to pinpoint the safest place with this new discovery because they're all really good and they're all great. But I mean, regardless, there's so many places. I mean, even right here by the armor stand, there's a little ledge. It's amazing. I think that this happens because if you've ever built on Roblox, you'll know that if you have just a tiny bit of a block sticking out, you can stand on it or land on it. And I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Yeah, guys, I mean, there's obviously going to be so many places I'm not going to be able to show where you can hide now. But that's, you know, it's up to everyone to go out there and find a bunch of crazy spots now. I'm sure some people might have already known about this, but I have never heard of it. I've never seen anyone do it or seen anyone talk about it yet. I just thought it was fascinating, and it fit perfectly with the timing because I was making this video. I'm going to quickly go over my top 3 favorite hiding spots for each Sword Fights in the Heights 4 version. But first, the only thing I can think of where you would die when you're AFK like this is if an exploiter joins and loop kills you, or if an exploiter joins and does something like this. I'm still not really sure exactly what this was about. I wasn't even streaming, so it wasn't a stream sniper. Obviously, they were trying to get me killed by someone else. But there's one thing for sure. You are way more likely to get killed by someone pushing you out of the safe room than by an exploiter. Funny enough, as I'm editing this video, I'm AFK on Sword Fights in the Heights. I have like a 45-0 streak. I'm AFK, and I'm seeing on my second monitor someone falling onto the exact same hiding spot that I'm at and trying to kill me. I teleport back to the safe room, I start recording, and then I go and kill them, which is what you just saw. And then I saw them teleporting around for a second, then they left the game. So it's not like exploiters killing you never happens. It's just chances are higher that you're getting killed by someone who's pushing you out of the safe room. Funny enough, not even 2 minutes later, this guy tried pushing me out of the safe room. And after I killed him, he came back and basically just kept trying to be annoying by pushing me out. And so I just went and I hid in one of these new hiding spots. And boom shakalaka, son. I'm telling ya, this is the future of streaking on Nostalgia Zone and Sword Fights in the Heights in general. Coming in at number 3 for Shedletsky's modern Sword Fights is the John Loved of Muses room. This room is great. The second best spot is the Ghostwalker sign. Nobody ever comes over here. It's a great place to go. And of course, number 1 obviously goes to the Trusses hiding spot in the safe room, just because it's solid. You are actually safe 360 degrees. Now, the reason why the invisible fire ring is not anywhere on the top 3 is because there is a lot of traffic that comes through the teleporter, and inevitably someone's going to have an Illumina out and it will give away your location. Coming in at number 3 on Nostalgia Zone is the Trusses in the safe room. You tend to get flung out occasionally, which is why it's number 3. Number 2, of course, has to be the invisible fire ring. This is because it's a godlike spot on Nostalgia Zone, considering there's no illumination passive. And obviously number 1 is any of the new hiding spots. Yeah, I couldn't really whittle it down, considering all of them are fantastic. So that does it for this Sword Fights on the Heights 4 video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm also curious as to what kind of hiding spots you guys might use, or what methods you use to keep yourself alive when going AFK. I did make a video not too long ago where I covered a bunch of different tips on how to go AFK. If you guys want to watch that, feel free. It's on the screen in one of these boxes. I really appreciate you guys watching though. Stay safe.